Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are super excited, as all we are. So, today's session is about Git and GitHub. We'll be covering the basics of how to use Git and GitHub and to manage your code effectively. We also have a hands on session planned for you guys. Be with us till the end, as we are also going to help you start your journey in your open source industry. So, are you guys super excited to get initialized? Yep, that was a pun. Okay. So before we get any further, right, we'll be pinning some links in the chat and for to download the Git, and yep, you can get started through it. So just a second. So without further ado, let's just begin. And yeah, So let me give you a small story, right? So did that ever happen to you that you are taking a part in a hackathon and it is almost 12, which is the deadline, and all the code that you are part of, the team you are part of, is on your local system, and you wanted to share it with someone else. Did that ever happen to you? Well, it did happen to me. You can, if you see the time, it's like literally 11:58. That's the time when we were supposed to 12 was the deadline, and I'm sharing the code with my friend so that he can put it on the final repository. So yeah, FYI, that just happened. So let's go from here to here. So what do I mean here? So what you are able to see is like a commit history. So we'll be talking about what are commits and all in the future. But yeah, that's what something amazing, a black magic has just happened, and it's gonna be real fun. So let's just talk about what is Git, right? So diving into that, I'll give you an example. Imagine that you are building an entire town. So from scratch, okay, for that matter. At the start of the project, we have a blueprint of that town that outlines where all the buildings will go, where the streets will go, and so on, whatever. As we begin the building, different teams of workers are responsible for different parts of the project. Let's say, for example, that there are some teams who are building like a road, or some people are building just the foundation of a building, something like that. Now, each team will work on their individual part of the project and make changes as in all what they need. So now, if I want to say, let I'm part of the road building community, okay. So I would want to say, ki, yeah, this is my road, and I'm gonna start building it here. So and some other person will say, ki, yeah, but let's say I want to build the entire building on this road. That's not gonna work out, right? So what is Git gonna help you? So Git will help you keep track of all the changes. So if there is a team A and there is a team B, both of them, whatever they are doing, Git is going to track these changes, and you're going to get an up-to-date version of this blueprint. So when the road construction team, okay, makes some changes in the route, we'll be submitting the changes to Git. So in that case, Git will keep track of these changes and make sure that everyone is getting the up-to-date plan. Now let's say that the builder, where he's building a building, okay, but actually there was supposed to be a road to be there. So what has happened? Now there is a conflict between them. So the builder who was supposed to build the building and the workers who are constructing the road, both of them having a conflict. Git comes handy here as well. It is helps us to sort these issues in the most optimal way. So overall, to give a summarized way, Git helps us keep track of all the changes that are made during this building process, and ensures that everyone is working from the same set of plans. This makes it easier to collaborate and ensures that the town is built to the highest standards of the quality. Okay, so now that we have understood Git, let's just say what is GitHub.
Yeah. So now I'll tell you about what exactly is GitHub. So GitHub is a web-based platform that uses Git as its version control system to manage and host source code. Here's an analogy that will help you understand how GitHub works. Imagine you're a book author and you have just finished writing your manuscript. Now you want to make sure that your work is saved and backed up in case anything happens to your computer. You also want to share your book with others, get feedback, and collaborate with editors and authors. So, in this scenario, your manuscript is like the code of your project, and GitHub is like a publishing platform for your book. First, you can create a GitHub account and create a new repository for your project. This is like creating a book on a publishing platform where you can upload your manuscript and start building a community of readers and contributors. GitHub allows you to push your local Git repository to a remote repository hosted on their servers. This means that your code is now saved and backed up in the cloud, and you can access it from anywhere with an internet connection. This is like having your book stored in the cloud, so you can access it from anywhere with an internet connection. GitHub also allows you to share your code with others and collaborate with them on your project. You can allow collaborators to your repository, give them different levels of access, and even review and merge their changes into the main branch of your code. This is like sharing your book with editors and all other authors who can make suggestions, edit your work, and collaborate with you to create a better product. GitHub also has a lot of other features like issue tracking, pull request, and code reviews that make it easier to manage and contribute to open source projects. We'll be seeing them further in the hands on session. This is like having a dedicated community of readers and contributors who can provide feedback, report sessions, and help you improve your work. In summary, GitHub is like a publishing platform for your code where you can store, manage, share, and collaborate on your projects, just like a book author would on a publishing platform for their manuscript. Yeah. So now the question, is Git and GitHub the same? So the answer is no. Git and GitHub are not the same because Git is a version control system, uh, and when you use it, you create repositories of your code. And GitHub is a platform that can be used to host your repos online and work on them with other people. Yeah. So in this image, you can see like in the local machines, everyone has their own separate Git repositories, and they are changing, editing their codes, and working on them on their local machines using Git, and they are linked to each other using GitHub, which is a web-based platform.
So enough of all this that we talked in theory. Now we are going to go in hands-on. So just a sec. Yep. So anyone who has not yet installed Git, I'll just show you how to do it. So just say git download and whatever links comes first, so just go through it. And now you have options for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So has everyone done that? I'll just wait for acknowledgement. Just put a thumbs up or something in the chat so that I just know that you guys have done that. Okay, great. So let's just go to the hands-on session, right? Okay. So what have I done here is basically just opened my VS Code, and I'm gonna make a new folder on my desktop, and I'll just say, what should we call it? Let's just call it demo. Okay, demo one. So, and I'm just gonna call that, open it on my VS Code, and I'm gonna add a new file to it. So let's call it index.html. So let's add some tags into it and just a body to it. I want to say hi to Shub. Okay. Hey Shub, how you been? Okay. So that's what I've done. So basically, I've made an index file on HTML, and I'm gonna now open a new terminal. So just a new terminal. So what we before we just get into the entire commands and stuff, I'll just go through what we are going to do entirely. So this is a folder that we have created, and in this folder we want to add something to it. So what we are going to add is the Git repository. So how do you add Git repository? Is by a command called git init. You can say it has initialized an empty Git repository. So if I open my folder here, you can see that there's a folder called .git. So what is this .git folder? So basically all the files that Git will use to track our code is stored in this Git folder. Usually this folder is hidden. So if that box is not checked in on your laptop or something, so just if you say show hidden files, you'll be able to see this file. You don't have to bother this about this file. It's gonna be there in the background, and you can just go with your flow. It will not interrupt in any of your code or anything like that. Okay. So now that is done. Let's just say that you want to remove this file. So how do you remove it? It's just a simple command. It's remove rf, and you say .git, and there you go. It's deleted. So because we want to keep the in repository, we'll just type it again. So it's .git init, right? And it's back again. So now that we have done that, is there anyone who has not yet initialized your Git repository, anything like that? Okay, I guess, sure. So if you are a first time user, right? So you need to type a few commands to configure your Git. So those commands will be Git. I'll just type it down and then I'll tell you what it is doing. So it is git config hyphen hyphen user dot name, and I'll just type a username and let's say it is Adi. Okay. Okay. So yep. So you don't need to worry about all these things that they are giving. And yeah, so what basically it is doing is you are adding a username. So oh sorry, there's a problem with the uh, my bad. It was not config, it is global global and its user.name. So the command is git config hyphen hyphen global user.name and your username. So why we are doing this is basically to let Git know that this is my username and this is how, and I am the person who is going to be taking care of this entire repository. Okay, so let's enter this, and yeah, see no errors. And now the second that command that we have to put is user.email, and you are just going to add your email address there. So it's going to be. So yep, that's my email address if anyone wants. So yeah, yeah. So now that we have done, so we have added our name and our username. Sorry, our name and our email ID. So these two things are have been set, and now you're good to go. You have to just add these two commands in the beginning of the session or beginning of using the Git forever. So if you are using Git ever in your life, so you don't need to put this again. And one last command you are putting, that's for called git config, and it's called hyphen hyphen global, and it is init dot branch, default branch, my bad, default branch, and we are going to say it's main. What does this mean? So git config hyphen hyphen global is same to same, and init dot default branch main. So we are naming every like whenever you initialize a Git repository, right? So the main branch or the default branch that is there on your system is called main. We are just naming it main. You can name it anything that you want. You can keep it master, but main is the convention that we go for. Okay, so that's one thing that we keep in mind always. Yep, and we are good to go. Let's just clear this thing out. So, or let's just keep it. We might let you know. By the way, branches, what are branches? We'll be talking this again later on. So let's type another command. It is called git status. Yeah. What can you see here? It says untracked files, and it says use git add file to include in what will be committed. And the index.html is in red color. It's red bold. So what does that mean? What is untracked? So untracked is basically a way for Git to say that, hey, dude, wait, this is a there is a file something in your repository which I have no idea what it is. Okay, I have not been doing anything with it. So for Git to know that this file is supposed to be handled by it, we have to add it. So as it is saying use git add file, so you copy this and you're going to say add file, and instead of file we're going to write the name of the file. So it's index.html. Okay, yeah, and let's type git status again. Yeah, you can see no commits yet, and changes to be committed is new file index.html. So in the previous and the new format, what's happening is the files were not tracked by Git before, and now that they are tracked. That's the only difference. But now, let's say that you made some changes, and now you thought, like, wait, I don't want to actually get to track it. So how do you do it? Again, it says here use git remove cached file to unstage. So we are going to do exactly that. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to just type hash index.html. That's it. It says removed index.html. Do you want to check the git status here? Yep. It says index.html is still not tracked. So now just assume that in your entire repository, there are like thousands of files. So are you gonna type git add index.html? Are you just gonna type git add styles.css? Are you gonna keep doing that? No. We have a better command. It's called git add dot. So dot basically takes all the files that are there in your current repository or your folder, and it's gonna add it to your git. So it's gonna git add dot. So you check the git status again, and there you go, it has been added again. So what we have done till now is basically just tell Git ki, like, look at this, this is a folder or this is a file, and this file I need you to track. Okay, but now I'm not saving these changes anywhere yet. So for saving these changes, we're going to do one more command that's called git commit. So it is git commit hyphen m. So what is hyphen m here? So every commit, right? So you how are you going to access that commit? So for that reason, we type a message. We need to tell the user or like ourselves only. Okay, now look at this. This is a commit that I'm making. I'm going to name it something. So I'm giving a message. So how do you name or like write a message for the commit? So it should be always meaningful so that a person who does not know your entire code still knows ki what you have done in this entire thing, right? So like what is this commit gonna initialize, or like what is it gonna say about the code? So because there is nothing else, we have just gonna say initial commit. There you go. It says main root commit. This is a hash value. We'll be talking about what the hash value is future. Okay. And it says one file change, 12 insertions, and create mode this. And yep. So let's just say git status. Yep, it says nothing to commit because at this point we have already added our stuff, and we have also committed. So basically, what has happened is Git knows that you have added some things, and I have saved whatever changes you want us to make by the commit of initial commit. Right. So let's just do some changes over here. Let's say, hey Shubh, how you been? And if at all Shubh does not remember my name, I'll just tell him, hey, it is Adi. Yep. I told him it's Adi. And now I'll just see what's the status again. Oh, my bad. Spelling mistake. Yeah. So because we had already committed this previous file, right? So now Git knows this file has been modified. We changed this file from this to this, right? So we have added a line, so there has been change in the file. So that's why it says modified. Let's just commit this and add it. So first it will be git add dot as a shortcut, and we'll say git commit and hyphen m, and we are going to give a message saying that we are added a feature. Okay, and that feature is introducing myself. Introduced myself. There you go. So we have done that, and we have added a new feature called introduced myself. So we are going to type another new command that's called git log. So what is happening in git log? Could you just identify it? Anything? Any idea what is this git log? Okay, I'll just explain it. So git log is basically something that you will be able to see all your different commits here. So you are able to see the commit, the entire value of the commit, and it says head on the main, and the author is that's me. That remember we had initialized it before that my username is Adi. So that's what it is showing. The author is this, and the email ID for this guy is here. It also shows that when you had added, so the time, the date, and the time. And yep, it says the what is the message on that commit. So it's going to be feature introduce myself. Similarly, you can also see initial commit. So that's also two things are there. And now let's go. It's going to be git. I'm going to type another one. So it's good. Git log hyphen p. What is this hyphen p? Okay. So this is an interesting one. So there you go. Yeah, it is here. So git log hyphen p. What it is doing is you can see it says it has the previous commit, the commit that you have done before this, and the new commit. The difference between that is shown in here. So you can see this has been highlighted on VS Code. So it says plus and this tag. So it shows that whatever changes you have done. Yeah, it shows that you have done +8 changes and you have done -8 changes, all that kind of stuff. Right. So it's basically you are comparing whatever changes are there between two of the different commits. So the previous commit and the new commit. So what are the changes that have been done? So you can see it over here. Now to get out of this, you just type Q, you press Q, and you are out of it. And now let's look at another one. So it's git log and it's hyphen hyphen one line. Okay, let's press enter and see what's happening. Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Actually, it says one line, so exactly what it is. So it is just giving you a one-line summary of what your commits are. So you get a hash value and you get the commit message. Okay, so we'll be talking what is a hash value right now. So let's say you have a repository and there are like thousands of people working on that one project. Okay, everyone keeps making some changes. They committed to the Git, and now they are able to like everyone is able to put their code up. So now there are like thousands of different commits. So remember like how I had shown you in the beginning that the commit history. So on the GitHub that we'll be seeing soon again. So in the similar way, you are able to see these hashes. So these hashes are basically how do you like if I want to go back to this certain commit, right? So how do I identify that I have to go back to this commit? So basically, this value is going to help me go to that commit. So it's going to uniquely identify which commit I'm talking about, right? So let's just say that hey, it's Adi. The tag that I've put here is just overrated. I'll just remove that. Show guess who I am. So I want to restore back to the things that I had gone back to, right? So in that case, we have a command called git restore, and it is hyphen hyphen source, and then you copy the hash value of the commit you want to go back to. So you copy pasted. I copied the initial commit hash value, and now I'm gonna type the file name. So it's going to be index.html. Yep, you can see that the comment that was hey, it is Adi has been removed. Okay, so again, now I've made changes, so that means it has been modified. So let's just check the git status. Yeah, you can see it has been modified. So what do you do in that case? It clearly Git is telling me what to do. So it's git add the shortcut dot, and then we're going to say git commit, and you're going to say hyphen m, and you're going to say reverted back to previous commit. Okay, so let's check the git status again. If everything is clean, you can see that there is nothing, no problem, and yeah, there we go. Now let's just say that I am working on the index page, and so, like someone else, or let's say me only, is working on another page. Let's call it the admissions page. Okay, so this admissions page has all the features of index page. Okay, so I just want to add a nav bar here for an example. And forget the admissions page. I just want to add a nav bar here. So how can I do it? Let's say this index.html page is already been deployed to people. So like people can already see what's happening on this index.html page right now. Okay, so if that is the case, I can't make direct changes on this entire file, right? So in that case, I'm going to make a branch. So what exactly branch is? So branch is something like a parallel lane. Okay. So in this parallel lane, whatever content is there on your main branch will be copied. And whatever changes I do on my parallel branch, that is my new branch that I'm going to create, is going to have all the features. It's going to change everything. Whatever changes I can do, I'll be doing that. And finally, it will not affect my main branch. So my main branch remains as it is. There's literally nothing that has been changed in my main branch. So let's say after a point, I have tested everything. The nav bar looks really great. And now I want to say that the main branch that the people are able to see right now should also experience whatever I have done on my new branch. So in that case, I can merge this branch. So if you look at it, it is like a branch. It's going a parallel branch. This is my main branch, and then I make a new branch. So it's like a subdivision of that branch. So in that case, whatever content is there on my main branch will go on my new branch. I make some changes there, and then finally I merge it. So it comes in contact with my main branch, and whatever the content is there in the new branch is then copied in my main branch. Okay. So how do you do in that case? So before that, I'll just show you. If you see in the bottom left corner, right? So VS Code already shows you that you are on which branch when you type git initialize. So git init, when you just type this command, you will be able to see this thing over here. So what is that? So it is just saying that you are right now on on the branch main. We'll type a command called git branch. So Git branch basically tells you all the whatever the different branches are there on your local repository. It lists down all of them. Right now we only have a single branch that is your main. That's why it is highlighting the main branch right now. So let's make a new branch. Let's call it Git. We are going to type the command for it. It's going to be Git checkout B, and we're going to name the branch. We're going to say we call it navbar. Okay. So what has happened here? If you check on the bottom left of your VS Code, you can see that right now the branch is navbar. Okay, so let's type git branch again. Yeah. So what has happened since this entire one command that we have typed? So basically two things have happened. First thing, we have created a new branch called navbar. Okay. And now the second thing that has happened is we have switched from our main branch to the new branch that is navbar. So these two things that we have already done in a single command. So that's exactly what's happened. And now let's say I want to change something. So I'm going to say I'm going to add a navbar. Let's call it diffs, and let's call it navbar. And I just want to put a logo. So let's call this website like Git. I think, yep, we'll put two exclamations, and that's my navbar. Okay, so I have made some changes. You can see that it's being highlighted here. So you can see that something has been changed. Again, if you notice, you have been noticing on your left side panel, there are some symbols that keep appearing here. There was a A, there was a U, there was a M. So M stands for modified. If you see, it's modified. So we're gonna add this. So let's just say we're gonna do. We'll check the status first. So git status. Again, it says it's modified. We're gonna add it. Git add dot and git commit, and let's say feature created navbar. Okay, so there you go. Everything is clean. Let's check the status again. Yeah, everything is clean, and your branch right now is navbar. So whatever changes that you have done right now, that the commit you have done is being saved on your new branch called the navbar. How do we check that? We'll go on git log and press enter. You see that you have created a navbar and your head is to a navbar. So basically, right now we have made a commit on the branch navbar. That's what this head represents. Okay. So okay, let's just check you, and yeah, let's go a bit down, and yeah, what we have done is now we have made some changes in your new branch, that is your navbar. Now let's just go and check what was there on my previous branch, that is main. So for that, I type a command called git switch main. Self-explanatory pretty much. So it's going to switch from your new branch, that is your navbar, to your main branch. Yep. See the changes that have happened. Remember that I had added a div called navbar, which is now again disappeared, right? Why? Because as I said, whatever changes that you make on your branch are restricted only to that branch. Unless and until I decide to merge whatever that content is there on that branch to this branch, nothing has been changed. So you can see I've been switched to the main branch here, and whatever content was here was there. Okay, so now let's just say I have tested my navbar. It looks great. Everyone says that it's really pretty. And now I want to say that everyone else who is using my website should be able to see this, the navbar as well. So how do I do that? As I said, it's going to be merge. So it's a simple command. It's called git merge. And okay, so how do you do it? So there are two things in this. You will be going to that branch where you want to merge your things into. So right now I want to merge my new branch, that is my navbar, into my main. So I will first go on my main branch. You can see that I'm currently on my main branch, so that's great. And I will type git merge and name of the branch that I want to merge it. So it's going to be nav. Yep, you can see that I'm still on my main branch, and it has updating the entire hash value it's been given, fast forwarding, and index.html 4 plus plus plus. One file has been changed, 4 insertions. Basically, whatever changes you had on your previous branch, that is your new branch, okay, that is navbar, you have added all those features on your branch, on your main branch. You can see that the div has come on this branch now, and okay, that's it. So now let's just say that you have done all whatever changes you want to do, and now this extra branch that you have created, navbar, is just extra. You don't need it anymore, right? So we're gonna just delete it. We're gonna say git delete. Sorry, it's git branch hyphen d, and you're gonna call the name of the branch. It's navbar. Oh, spelling error. Git branch. Okay, it says deleted branch navbar was okay. It's deleted. Let's check the git branch again. So again, right, you can see that the only branch that's remaining is the main branch. So you have deleted whatever branch you had created before, and yeah, you're good to go now. So what we have been doing till now is this on your local system. Okay, so whatever changes you have been doing is just on your local system. Anyone else, if he wants to access your code, he can't do it yet because you the others don't have access to your code. So how do you do it? So for that, we use something called as GitHub, as Shubh mentioned before. GitHub is something that will help you share your code. Okay. I think Shubh should take it forward and he'll explain you how do you use GitHub.
Yeah. So before moving to GitHub, like if anyone has any doubt and have not been able to catch up, then they can
Yeah.
tell us. Oh, so it stays master instead of main. So, the master branch is actually the default branch in Git. Like Adi has shown your command git config, in which you can change the name of the default branch to main instead of master.
I see a question about hyphen hyphen one line not working, right? So what is the reason behind it? That is like hyphen hyphen one line is like two hyphens. Okay. So make sure that you add two hyphens. That's gonna help you. And I think that should be good. Just let me know if it's working for you guys.
So I think
Yep.
we should move forward. Okay. Yeah. So since you are now familiar with all the different Git commands. Now it's time we move to github.com. So when you sign up and log in into github.com, your home screen should look something like this. So we'll just go here to tap this button, new repository. When you go here, it says create a new repository. So we can name our repository here. Like I'll name my repository Git and Git. So after that, we can give a short description to a repository about how what it is about, and this is optional. You can give it later as well. Like I'll just leave this empty for now. After that, you can choose if you want to keep it public or private. If you're keeping it public, then you are allowing everyone on the internet to access it, fork it, clone it, or use it, and they can also collaborate. They will also ask you if they want to work on it, so they can generate some PRs. So if you want everyone to know about it, you keep it public. So after that, there's private. Like private repositories are just to yourself, and the code will not be shared with the project will not be shared with anyone. You can choose who can see and commit to this repository. Basically, whoever you will add to the repository, only those people can see it. So after that, we can also add a README file. README file is where we can write a long description for our projects. Like we can tell them about how they can initialize the project on their local machines, how to use our project, and every stuff like that goes there. Okay. So after that, we can add a .git ignore folder. So this is a folder in which you can add some files which we do not want Git to make a track of. So we want Git to ignore these files. Like if we are working on a project and we have some private information in the project, like some passwords or stuff, so we can just add those files to the .git folder, .git ignore folder, and it will not be tracked by Git whenever we commit, or we can add all the files. So after that, we can choose a license, whichever we want. Mm. So I'll just proceed on to creating the repository. Yeah. So whenever the repository has been created, this is an empty repository. I haven't added any files. This is a new repository. So GitHub tells me that if I want to create a new repository on the command line, I should be using these commands, or push an existing repository from the command line. This we are going to do right now. Like if we are already having some project on our local machine, and we want to and we have initialized an empty repository on it, and we want an already existing repository which we have just created on GitHub to be its remote origin, we use these commands. Okay. So I'll basically just open my VS Code right now. So in my VS Code, I have created a folder Git and Git-Out, and I have a file index.html. I'll add the boilerplate code. So let's just give it. Um, Hello Adi. So hello Adi, this is the file. I've made some changes. So now I want this project to be uh, there on the GitHub. So I'll just go to new terminal and initialize it as a new repository. Git init. So an empty repository has been initialized. So now I want this repository to know that I have I want to add a remote origin to this repository. Like I want this repository to know that I have an already existing repository on GitHub, which is supposed to be um, its remote origin. So I'll just go back to my GitHub, and here I have this command. I'll just copy paste it: git remote add origin with the link. So just go back and paste it here. So the remote origin has been added to this. So then I'll go back again and get branch M because I want the main branch to be there. So I'll just main branch. Yep. Let's just check if it's on main. So now we'll go back to this and we'll add git push origin. Now we have to push it to the main branch. Oh, this is again. Um, Wait. Oh, I missed on adding some the files. So yeah, now the files have been tracked. The files have been tracked. I missed on adding files. So now I'll just go to git branch and check which branch I am. Git branch. And now I can push. So git push. Wait, let's see git status. Okay, so I have not committed yet. So I'll make a commit. Git commit and give it a message like I have said this feature. It's like feature where I have said hi to Adi. Yeah. So this has been done. So now I can push. Yeah. Now I've pushed it to the main branch. Now I can just go to the my GitHub and just reload it. See the repository which I have just created on my the local machine has been pushed to GitHub, and this is how it looks. After adding the remote origin, this is the file, and also says the commit name feature hi to Adi. Okay, so now we just I'll just tell you about how what issues are. So like I have this remote repository on GitHub. So this is public. So anyone if I want and need any help on this project, like I have not been able to come up with something or I need someone else to do it for me, I'll just go to issues and create a new issue for them. So anyone who and add labels to it. So anyone who's searching with for the labels, like if they want to work with a bug or a good first issue, like people who are new with open sourcing and collaborating, they'll search the good first issue label. Okay, so I'll just go to new issue and I'll give it a title like if I have a navbar issue in my repository. Like in my project, I have a navbar issue. So I'll just write navbar issue and I'll just leave a comment like whatever and describe the issue like so people are able to understand what are they supposed to work with. So the navbar is fixed. Uh, it is supposed to be position relative Sure. So this is just an example. So I'll just add some labels to this, like this is a bug. And also, if someone wants to collaborate, or like if it's good for newcomers, if I wanted to have the label of being good for newcomers, I'll add this one. Okay. So these two issues labels have been added, and I'll just submit new issue. So anyone on the internet can, on GitHub, can just come to this issue and leave a comment, like if they want to work with this issue or they want to collaborate with me. So see, Adi has left a comment. Hey, I want to do it. So I think I should let Adi do it. So I'll just um, assign, yeah, sure. I'll just write, yeah, sure, and assign it to Adi. So now Adi has been assigned this task and he's supposed to do it. So as soon as I assign him, this comes, Shubh Bansal has assigned Adi Kutkari about for this task. So now I'll pass on to Adi, who will tell you about pull request and how to like collaborate to any contribute to any project on GitHub or any repository on GitHub.
Yep. So thanks, Shub. Now I'll just share my screen quickly.
Yeah.
Yep. So now, okay. So what just happened here? Okay. So see, Shubh has given me the access. So he has assigned me, and I'm able to see what is happening. So yeah. So what I have to do is I have to fix this issue, right? Let's just go to the home page. Okay. Now I will make. Let's open my VS Code again. So VS Code. Let's close this file. Let's open a new terminal. Let's open a new window, in fact. Delete this and open a terminal. Let me just cd into on my desktop. So it's okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna copy my location and cd to my location. So cd and it's gonna be desktop. Okay, so now I am on my desktop and now I want to clone whatever this repository is there. Okay, so before cloning, I have to do two things. Okay, firstly, I have to make a fork of it. So what is fork? Let's just go to this tab called fork. So create a new fork. A fork is a copy of a repository. Forking a repository allows you to freely experiment with the changes without affecting the original project. What does that mean? So what is happening will be when I fork this repository that Shubh has created, Git in Git out, I'll be creating a copy of this on my own GitHub account. So I'll have a repository called Git in Git out on my personal account of GitHub. Okay. Once I get to once I do that, then I'll be able to make any changes that I want on that account, that folder that is there gonna be there on my system, and that will be pushed. And I'll create a pull request. I'll show you what a pull request is, and I'll create a pull request for that, so that Shubh will just verify whatever changes I've made is up to the mark or not, and then merge it with his own repository, which is his actual repository. So let's just do that. So we'll fork it, and if you want a description, we could add a description here. And it says we can copy the main branch, or you can copy the entire all the branches. Everything is possible. Right now, just let's create the fork. Yeah, you could see this that now it is Adi Gulalkari, Git in, Git out, okay, and it says forked from Shubh Bansal. So basically, I have copied all the code from Shubh's account and I have put it on my account, and that's here. So now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to copy the URL for this link. So when you say code and you say HTTPS, you're just going to copy this code. Why are we copying this code? See, I have to work on the feature, right? I have to make the changes in the navbar. So I have to put it on my own local repository. Okay. So I'm going to type the command git clone and I'm going to paste the URL for the link. Let's just do it. Yep, that's it. If you see git in, git out one has now been included on my desktop. Now let's just go here and open this thing. You see, Shubh had said hello to me, so I can see whatever code that he had pushed over here. Let's open the terminal again. So new terminal, and yeah, we are here. Let's. He wanted me to fix the nav bar, right? So let's add here. Let's add it here, and let's say we're going to call it nav, and we're going to say if this is my nav bar. Okay, there you go. So basically, I have made some changes, whatever the changes are. According to me, these are the perfect changes. This is my nav bar. Yeah, for all those people who are doing web dev, this is now not how you do make a nav bar, but yes, let's go ahead with this. Okay, so what we are going to do? Well, as we said earlier in the previous tutorial, we always make changes in a separate branch, right? And all, whatever changes that we do in the separate branch will not be affected in your main branch. So we're going to make a new branch. So we're going to say git checkout hyphen b and make a new change. So let's call it fix navbar. Oh, it says it's not a valid name. So let's just say fix one, shall we? So now again, what has happened? Let's check the git branch. Say there was a main branch and there was a fix one branch. So on the fix one branch, I'm currently there, and all these things that I've done is on my main branch, on my fix branch. Okay. So now we have done that, we have to add whatever the things are there. So git add dot and git commit hyphen m, and we're gonna put a message nicely. Say fix. I fixed that navbar. Okay. I think there was an issue with that. So I don't know. Okay. So git add dot and git commit hyphen m fixed fixed navbar. Okay, so two changes have been made, and this file comes usually because of. So I'll just show you. So this file .dsstore is something that comes when you put something on GitHub. So it's some extra file. It is again not gonna affect any of your code. So just forget that file for now. It doesn't matter it is there or not. So yeah, so now this whatever changes that I've done again are there on my only, it's on my local repository. So what do I do now? In that case, I have to push it to my GitHub account. So for that, you have to use the command git push hyphen u. I'm going to say origin and the name of the branch I want to push. So it's going to be fix one. Yep, everything is done. Branch one set to track by origin fix one. So let's just check our GitHub account again, right? So there you go. It's been not even a minute, and you can see fix one had recently pushed less than a minute ago. So let's check the branches. Yeah, there's a fixed branch and there's a main branch, which is the default branch is your main branch, and your branch is the fixed branch. So as I said, I made some changes on my code. So I have made some changes. If I go to fix one and see there is this file here, you don't need to worry about it right now. But if you go here, you can see that this is my navbar has been added to my code. But again, it is on my fixed branch. So if you go to main branch, there is no navbar here, right? So I want to merge those things. But now listen, this is not my project that I'm working on, right? So this is Shubh's thing that I have got. So in that case, how do I do it? For that, I have to do something called a pull request. So what is a pull request? So pull request helps you collaborate on code with others. As a pull request are created, they'll appear here in a searchable and filtered way. So basically, I can whatever changes that I have done on my computer, I'll compare I'll make a pull request so that Shubh can see is that actually what he has done is correct? Is that what I really wanted? Okay, so I'll just say compare and pull. Okay, and I'll just leave a comment like Hey Shub, just check out my work. Okay, so I told him that you should check out my work, and I have told him that I have fixed the navbar. So where did this fix the navbar come from? This was the name of the commit that we had created, right? And edits will be given to the maintainers as well. So I'm just gonna create a pull request. Okay, it's checking for availability. Yeah, it says there are no conflicts, so I'm able to. Someone can make the pull request, right? Someone can merge this. So who's that someone? That's going to be Shubh. Why? Because Shubh's repository is the one that I have for. So I'll let Shubh show the rest of the part.
Yeah. So now I'll show you how you can merge a pull request, like Adi just created one. So just a sec. Yeah. So I'll just refresh this and see, now it shows one in front of pull request. So one pull request has been made. So well, since I'm the maintainer of this repository, I'll just go to this pull request and see if it's like really fixed. I can see the commits which he made. Like I'll just go to his commit. So he had added these lines of code. I can review it. I can see that if they make sense or not, if he has solved the issue which I had assigned to him. So if it's good to go, then I'll just go back to pull request, and then I'll just and he doesn't have any merge conflicts as well. So I can just click on merge pull request and confirm the merge. So the his commit has been merged into the main branch. So when I go to the code branch, so it will show his pull request has been merged into the code. So see his .ts store file has also been added, and his fix one commit has been made into the branch. So yeah, so that's how you can work with you can contribute to the repositories on the GitHub platform. So this gives you a vast opportunity to open source. So we'll move to open sourcing. So open sourcing has become increasingly. Oh, sorry, my bad. Open sourcing has become increasingly popular in the recent years due to many benefit it offers. For example, open sourcing software can promote collaboration and innovation as developers can build on top of each other's work and contribute improvements back to the community. So it also increases the transparency and accountability as the code is publicly visible and can be audited by anyone. So uh, we'll go in depth with open sourcing. We'll see how we can open source, like on GitHub platform. We can look for repositories, different repositories to contribute, which are relevant to your tech stack, and yeah. So that's about it. So open sourcing is also often used by organizations and individuals who want to share their work with the broader community, and or who want to build a community around their software. This can be particularly useful in the context of academic research, where open sourcing data and code can facilitate reproducibility and advance scientific progress. So yes. So I'll just go to the GitHub again, and I'll show you. Like on GitHub, we have this Explore tab where you can go and you can just search for as many repositories you want. Like you can go to topics and search for the repositories which are relevant to your topics, like React, JavaScript, CSS, Python, and all of them are listed here. You can look for the labels also for like good first issues. Like if I go to this search bar and write good first issue, so and go to this. And so these are some good first issues um, which can be addressed and you can contribute to them. So as a beginner, so yeah, I'll also show you the IEEE GitHub account. like IEEE-VIT. See, this is the IEEE GitHub account. We have a lot of repositories which you can come to and contribute. Uh, Also, we created some repositories during Hacktoberfest, which is, I'll just tell you about it. What Hacktoberfest is. So let's just discuss about Hacktoberfest. Yeah. So Hacktoberfest. Yeah. So Hacktoberfest is an annual event that encourages people to contribute to open source projects to um, on GitHub, which is a popular online platform for software development. It was created in 2014 by DigitalOcean. So during the event, so it takes place during the month of October, and during the event, participants are challenged to make 4 pull requests, like Adi did just now. You are supposed to make 4 pull requests to any of the repositories present on GitHub.com. So um, a pull request, I'll tell you, a pull request is a request to merge code changes into an existing project. The pull request can be made to any public repository on GitHub, and they can be for any type of contribution, such as fixing bugs, adding new features, improving documentation, or translating content. Okay. So whoever, like participants who who are successfully make 4 pull requests during the month of October, receive a limited edition T-shirt and other swag items as their reward for their contribution. In addition to the rewards, Hacktoberfest also aims to promote open source and encourage people to get involved in the community. It can be a great way for developers to gain experience working on open source projects and to connect with other developers around the world. Yeah. So I'll show you the projects which we created during Hacktoberfest. Like this is one of them. Platify was one of them. Spectra. These were some of the projects which we created during Hacktoberfest for beginners to come and contribute. So we had like when I go to this repository, Platify. Here see it was during the Hacktoberfest, and we assigned the labels of, we created created some issues for this with good first issue, good first issue, good first issue, so that people can come and make changes, ask me for these issues. Like I had assigned this issue to this guy who left a comment, and he is supposed to work on it. So this is how this Hacktober. This is how you can take part in Hacktoberfest as well, because millions of people create their own repositories and for people to contribute and promote open sourcing. So still, so make sure you take part in Hacktoberfest during the month of October.
So basically, it's a joke, right? Whenever you get a lot of stickers and T-shirts, why would you actually want to do something else? So Hacktoberfest is actually a very nice place where you can get exposure, you can get a lot of new different connections, you build a very great community, and of course, you get stickers and T-shirt. Who doesn't want that, right? So finally, that brings us to the end of our session.
Yeah.
So we have created a sheet, a cheat sheet for say for all the Git commands. Yeah, you actually don't need this if you have been listening to our session. You actually don't need any of this. You can scan the QR code for your reference, and you will be having all the different commands that we just displayed in that file. Okay. And finally, if you guys have any doubts or something, you can shoot at us, and we'll be happy to answer. Okay, so Kaustav asked a question, what skills are required for open source contribution? So basically you don't need a lot ton of experience. If you are a new, if you're a beginner, in that case, what you need to do is just go on GitHub, just check what are the good first issues, right? So whenever you see a label called good first issue, you just approach it, find out what the entire issue is about. So let's say you know a bit of web dev, or if you know whatever field you have, let's say you know web dev, so in that case you will find some issue related to web dev, right? So whenever you search a repository related to web dev and see a good first issue, that's it, all you need. So any particular skills for open source contribution is not needed. You can just go for any of the skill that you already have and approach it in that way, right? Okay, there's another person who has commented. So branches are just where you place your changes. Like if one is making a button, another is making a navbar, you can make two branches and just commit it to the main at the end. Yeah. So branches is like, I'll tell you. It's like you are making a copy of your original branch. So you are making a copy of your original branch and making changes to it. So as you said, you can, if you want to add a button to that thing, so you're going to make a branch and you're going to add a button to it, right? And now you're going to commit it back to the main branch. Why we are making branches anyways? This is because you want to avoid any conflicts. You don't want like any random changes or the wrong things that have happened, like some errors or bugs that have been created in your code, should not come and be a problem on your and main branch or the working project. So that's why you keep everything that is yet to be finalized on your branch. So anything that is not finalized, you keep it on the branch, and when everything is great to go and good to go, you can merge the branch. So yes, it's the same thing. Like you make two different branches, you add two features, and then merge it or commit it together. Right? So that makes sense. So there is another question. So are branches slightly? So branches are slightly like forks, but in your own account. Yes, that's exactly what analogy you can think of. Is it's correct actually. So the those are exactly like branches, but the branches, the fork is basically an entire copy of and all the branches that are there on someone else's repository. Okay, so if I say Shubh is creating a repository which has 10 branches, so when I create a fork, I'm going to copy all the 10 different branches to my own repository. So it's a branch, but it is copying all the different branches that are there on a personal repository of someone else. So yes. And yes, someone else has also asked, is this everything I need to know
Yeah.
about GitHub? So, yep, that's all it is.
Mhm.
There is nothing much about it. There are more development environments or something. So, whenever you go for a bigger project, whenever you go for a bigger project or like an open source project, in that case, there are much more things that come into place. Like as Shubh was showing, there are issues and pull requests. There's something called merge conflicts that occur on GitHub. So it helps you to GitHub helps you to see what are the merge conflicts, and it helps you understand how do you go about it. So that's all you need to know about GitHub actually. So yeah.
Yeah, we tried to cover everything we could, and like to get you started with GitHub, we tried to tell you everything. So how can I connect with you? So you can just text us on the IEEE VIT Instagram channel, or and ask us for help. We'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, so I think we can end our session here. So thank you so much for tuning in on your Sunday, giving us your precious time, and happy sourcing, guys. happy open sourcing. I hope you guys are interested into doing much more open sourcing in the future, and we hope to see you contribute to our GitHub repositories. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.